We are going to do the same thing for the same idea for hot dog buns. Okay, now this is just for the hot dog packages. Now we've tested hot dog packages. This is just for the hot dog packages. We've tested the hot dog packages remainder. So let's go ahead and test for the hot dog buns remainder. Okay, it's going to be the same idea. I'm just going to copy this whole thing and paste it here, and we'll test this so you see how it works. Okay, so I'm just going to change the variable. So if hot dog buns remainder, okay, if hot dogs buns remainder is greater than 0, then the minimum hot dog, not hot dog packages required, but the minimum hot dog bun. Okay, again, the names are getting long, but please bear with me. Minimum hot dog bun packages required is going to be, okay, if it's greater than 0. So if, for example, okay, there are 8 hot dog buns in a package. If there are 11 people coming, 2 hot dogs each, we need 22 hot dogs, which also means we need 22 hot dog buns. Okay, in a hot dog bun pack there are 8. So if I wanted to know the exact hot dog bun packages I need, I divide by 8, and that gives me 2.75. That means I need 2 packs of hot dog buns, and then 7, basically 7. So basically 2 hot dog packs and then 7.5. Okay, or 0.75. Okay, 0.75 hot dog buns. All right. So because the 0.75 is not equal to 1 whole pack of hot dog buns, okay, 1 whole pack of hot dog bun, we can't buy 2.75 when we go to the store. We have to buy 3. Okay, so if the remainder, okay, and the remainder is basically going to be stored here, hot dog buns remainder. If we divide, or if we try to find the modulus of hot dog buns needed, okay, 22 divided, not divided by modulus, 22 modulus the hot dog buns in a package, which is 8. Okay, we are going to end up getting the remainder, which is 0.75. Now, because 0.75 is greater than 0 over here, if hot dog buns remainder is greater than 0, we want to add 1 to it. So we buy 3. So again, if we add 1 to 2.75, we get 3.75, and then we want to convert it to an int to slash it off. And that's going to give us our minimum hot dog bun packages required. So int is not going to be exact hot dog. This is going to be the exact hot dog bun packages. Okay, I copied and pasted, so I need to change the values. Else, then the minimum hot dog bun packages. Okay, so if, for example, there are 4 people coming and they are getting 2 hot dogs each, then we need 8 hot dogs, and then we also need 8 hot dog buns. So 8 hot dog buns, and I divide by the 8 hot dog buns in a pack, which, so 8 hot dog buns in a pack, I get 1. There's no remainder. I don't need any remainder. I need exactly 1 pack, and then they'll be fine. So if I try to find the remainder by dividing the 8 hot dog buns I need by the 8 hot dog buns in the package, if I try to find the remainder of that division, I get 0. And because 0 is not greater than 0, okay, this is only going to kick in when that remainder is greater than 0. But because 0 is not greater than 0, this else part is going to kick in. Because of that, if that's the case, then we need exactly that pack. We don't have to add 1 to it. So in that case, the minimum hot dog bun packages required is going to be the exact hot dog bun packages over here. Exact hot dog bun packages. So I need to change this. So now based on this, we found our minimum hot dog packages required, and our minimum hot dog bun packages required. Okay, so we can even go ahead and start displaying it, but we're not done calculating it. All right, so let me go ahead and continue, and then eventually we'll display everything. I'll go ahead and I wouldn't delete this Python shell yet. I'll need it eventually. Okay, so we are here now. We found the minimum number of packages of hot dogs required and the minimum number of packages of hot dog buns required, stored in these variables. Okay. So the next thing is the number of hot dogs that will be left over. Okay. All right. So using the same example, if we have if we have 11 people coming times 2 hot dogs each, we need 22 hot dogs, right? And at the same time, we need 22 hot dog buns. For the exact hot dog packages, right, we had to divide 22 by how many hot dogs are in a pack, which is 10. And that gives us 2.2, right? But again, we couldn't buy 2.2, we had to buy 3. So the minimum hot dog, the minimum we had to buy, okay, we didn't need that, but we had to buy that because we couldn't buy 2.2. This is the exact number we need to serve everyone, 2.2, right? So let's keep that in mind. That's the exact number. But we had to buy a minimum, which is we had to buy 3 because we couldn't buy 2.2. So in order to get the remainder, right, we bought 3 packs, but we ended up using 2.2, okay, for the people. So all we have to do is subtract 2.2 from 3. So subtract the exact number from the minimum we bought. 3 minus 2.2. And that's going to give us 0.8, right? 0.8 is a decimal. But if we end up multiplying 0.8 by the hot dogs in a package, which is 10, we get 8. Okay, so that's going to be the leftover. Okay, so I'll do this calculation again just so it makes sense. So now let's go ahead and calculate the leftover. The leftover. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a variable. I'm going to call it hot dogs leftover. Okay, hot dogs leftover. Now it's going to be equal to, again, it's going to be equal to the minimum hot dog packages required. Okay, the minimum hot dog packages we bought. Okay, minus over here, minus the exact hot dog packages, like this. Okay, that's going to be the hot dogs leftover. The same thing for hot dog buns leftover. So again, assuming there are, let's just say there are 6 people coming, they're getting 2 hot dogs each, right? So that means we need 12 hot dogs. At the same time, we need 12 hot dog buns. Okay, so if we need 12 hot dog buns, and there are 8 hot dogs in a pack, right? I divide by 8. I'm getting 1.5, right? So even if we take the decimal aside, right? We know there are 8 hot dog buns in a pack, and then there are 12 hot dog buns we need. Again, we can't buy 1.5. Okay, we can't buy 1.5. We have to buy a whole number. So basically, if there are 12 people coming, right, and then we can't buy. For example, we know that there are 8 hot dog buns in a pack, right? And we can't buy 12 of them. Okay, we can't buy 12. Like, we have to buy 2 packs, which is 16, because there are 8 and 8. And if we're buying 8 and 8 and there are 16, right? And we're only using I forgot the number that I used, but let me use another number. Let's say 11 people times 2 hot dogs each. We need 22 hot dogs and we need 22 hot dog buns, right? I'm going to divide this 22 by the number of hot dog buns in a pack, which is 8. And that gives me 2.75. We can't buy 2.75 packs of hot dog buns. So we have to buy 3, basically. Sorry. We have to buy 3. So 2.75, what we did was we added 1 to it over here. We added 1 to it. And then we converted it to an integer, which slashed everything off too. So it became 3. So now the minimum hot dog buns we bought, right, was 3. But the exact hot dog buns we needed for everyone was 2.75. So when you subtract 3 from 2.75, you get 0.25. And when you multiply this 0.25, that's a decimal. If you wanted to know the exact number of hot dog buns left, you have to multiply this number by the hot dog buns in the package, which is 8. And that gives us 2 left, right? And when you think about it, it makes sense. When you think about it, it kind of makes sense. because we needed 22, right? And we bought 3 packs. When you multiply 3 by 8, because there are 8 hot dog buns in a pack, we bought 3 packs. So 3 by 8 gives you 24, right? And there were 22 people coming. So if we used 22 hot dog buns, then there's 2 left. So it makes sense. So the same idea for that, for the hot dog buns leftover. So hot dog buns leftover is going to be equal to, again, the minimum hot dog over here, the minimum hot dog bun packages, not hot dog packages. The minimum hot dog bun packages minus the exact hot dog bun packages. Okay, and that's going to give us the hot dog buns leftover, right? Now we are not done yet. Let's go ahead and start out to output the program, and then we'll figure out what we need yet. So what we need. Okay, again, I apologize for the table making noise. Try my best to try to reduce that. All right, so let's go ahead and print. Since we have all the variables, we have the minimum number of packages of hot dogs, we have the minimum number of packages of hot dog buns, we have the number of hot dogs left over, and then the number of hot dog buns left over. We have all of them in variable, so we can go ahead and print it. So I'm going to call one print function here, and I'm going to start passing the argument in there. So the first thing I want to display is the minimum number of packages of hot dogs required. Okay, so minimum number of packages of hot dogs required. I'm going to put a colon. I'm going to concatenate it with, again, just like we had to convert this number to a string, we have to do the same thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and convert the variable minimum hot dog packages required here, like that. Again, because I don't want to exceed this line, I'm going to break this line here. And before I break it, I type a backslash, hit enter. So I'm going to go ahead and concatenate it with, I'm going to continue the string. I'm concatenating with another string and saying, where is it? Before I add another string to, I need to call the new line character, or write the new line character, which is \n. So \n together is the new line character. It's basically going to add anything I write after this. Okay, anything I write after this new line character, \n, it's going to add it to the next line of this. Okay, it's going to after this line, it's going to create a new line. Okay, I'll take the kz to the new line, and anything that comes after this, like this, all right, follows on a new line. So the next thing I want to display is the minimum number of packages of hot dog buns required. Okay, so minimum number of packages. Okay, I'm going to break this again here, like that, and hit enter. Before I break it, I type in the backslash. So minimum number of packages. Okay, I'm going to put a space here. Of hot dog buns required. I'm going to put a colon and concatenate it with the variable converted to a string, which is, in this case, the minimum hot dog bun packages required. I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to break it to another line here by typing a backslash and hit enter. I hope that works. Okay, we'll run it, and if anything happens, we'll change it. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to concatenate it with another string. Before I do, I'm going to break it to the next line, and I'm going to display the number of hot dogs that will be left over. So hot dogs leftover, that's how I'm going to call it. It's going to be equal to the variable converted to a string, which is hot dogs leftover over here. Hot dogs leftover. I'm going to concatenate it with another string, and before I do, I need to break it to the next line. The next line, which is \n, and that's going to be the number of hot dog buns that will be left over. So the number, I'm going to go ahead and break it to another line, create a new string. It's basically going to be joined to this one. the number of hot dog buns that will be left over. And I'm going to go ahead and concatenate that to a variable converted to a string, which is hot dog buns left over. Okay, so hopefully this works. All right, so let's debug it and see what happens. Okay, so please enter the number of people attending the cookout. So I'm going to enter the example that I gave, 11 people. Hit enter. Please enter the number of hot dogs each of the 11 people is going to eat. So I'm going to type 2 and hit enter. Okay, so while it's working, before I go into the details, right? Before I go into the details over here, I want to put a space after the question so I see the difference. So after I ask the question, before it displays the answer, okay? Before I displace this, what I can even do is that before I don't have to even type a print function. I can just, before I display it, create a new line, okay, and then whatever follows the new line is going to display on after. It's going to display after that line, okay. So I'm going to create the new line character. Again, the backslash and the n together are the new line character, or is the new line character. The backslash and the n is the new line character. It's going to create a line, and then anything that follows it, in this case, a minimum number, and so on, is going to follow after that line. So I'm going to run it, type in 11, and then type in 2. Okay, so minimum number of packages of hot dogs required, 3. It makes sense, okay? Because if I have 11 people and I have 2 hot dogs each, I need 22 hot dogs. I divide by 10 hot dogs in a pack, and I'm getting 2.2. But I can't buy 2.2, so I need to buy 3. So that's correct. If I need 22 hot dog buns, because again, the hot dogs that I need is the same as the hot dog buns that I need. So 22 hot dog buns divided by 8 hot dog buns in a package gives me 2.75. I can't buy 2.75, so I need to buy 3. So this is also correct. Now hot dogs left over is the problem. Okay, that's the problem. And there's nothing wrong with this, right? There's nothing wrong with this. But if I go to the Python shell and I try to, let's do a simple calculation. 2 plus 2 gives me 4, right? What is happening with this is it's trying to subtract the, over here, to get the hot dogs left over, which is here. It's trying to, based on these input, subtract, okay, the exact hot dog bun packages from the minimum hot dog bun packages required. In this case, the minimum hot dog bun packages required is 3. The exact hot dog bun packages is going to be 22 divided by 8. Okay, I think which is exactly what I did here. 2.75. Right, I'm not no, so there's hot dogs left over. I'm sorry, not hot dog buns left over. Hot dogs left over. It's trying to hot dogs left over. Subtract the minimum hot dog packages required from. Sorry, it's trying to subtract the exact hot dog packages from the minimum hot dog packages required. The exact hot dog packages is going to be a 22 divided by 10 hot dogs in a packet, which is 2.2. So it's trying to subtract 2.2 from the minimum hot dog packages required, which is 3. So it's going to be 3 minus 2.2, which is 0.8. It should give us 0.8. And again, if I did like a simple calculation here, 6 plus 9 gives me 15. But if I do 3 minus 2.2, like it was trying to do, and I hit enter, it gives me 0.7999998. Right? If I do it on my calculator over here, all right, 3 minus 2.2, I get 0.8. So there's something wrong with this, and I don't know why it's doing that, but it's probably something that has to do with the type of data and all that. But in any case, we can go ahead and fix it so we can get the correct number, and that is coming from here. That's coming from hot dogs leftover and then the hot dog buns leftover. We have to basically fix both. What I'm going to do is I'm going to format the result. Okay, so I'm going to call the format function and then format the result. This is what I want to format, this result here, and I wanted it formatted this way. Okay, so it takes 2 arguments. The second argument is how you want it formatted. I want it formatted this way. I'll fix this exceeding this line later on. So I want it formatted, okay, because it's going to result in a float. I want it formatted like that. Okay, I'm specifying that it's a float, and I want it formatted to 2 decimal places. Okay, so that's how I want it formatted. So it's going to format that 0.79999 to 2 decimal places as a float. So I'm going to do the same thing for hot dog buns, just in case we don't have any problems like that. And I'm formatting it to 2 decimal places as a float. Now let me go ahead and break this. I'm going to type in backslash and hit enter. Do the same thing here, type in a backslash and hit enter. So let's try it now and see what happens. So 11, 2. So now we are getting the correct decimal values, right? Because if you subtract 2.2 from 3, you get 0.8. 3 minus 2.2. You guys, oops, what am I doing? Sorry. 3 minus 2.2. You're getting 0.8, okay? And if you subtract 3 minus 2.75, you're getting 0.25. Now remember, with this we had to multiply by the number of the hot dogs in a package, and with this we had to multiply by the hot dog buns in a package to get the exact number. I went over this. I mentioned this in the calculation. So if you go back to the video, you'll see it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply the result. Okay, I'm going to multiply the result of what I got from this formatted, right, function, from this format function, by, over here I'm going to multiply the hot dogs left over. I'm going to multiply by hot dogs in the packet, which is 10, right? But there's a problem, and I'll point that out in a second. So for the hot dogs left over, I'm multiplying by hot dogs in the package, and for the hot dog buns in the package, I'm going to multiply by the result of this format function, or the return value of this format function. Okay, because that's the hot dog buns left over. So I'm going to multiply by that, the hot dog buns in a package. Again, I'm trying to exceed this, so I'm going to bring this back a little bit here, like that. Okay. Yeah, it's exact. All right. So the reason why, so let's go ahead and try this, and I'll explain what's happening. So I'm going to enter 11 people and 2 hot dogs each. See, it's not giving us the right value. Okay, it's giving us, so basically what's happening is this. The format function, okay, returns a string, right? It returns a string. When you format that number, it returns a string. But we are multiplying, in this case, we are multiplying by 10. And when you try to do that, when you try to multiply a string by 10 like that, it's basically repeating the string 10 times over here. And over here, so it's repeating 0.80 10 times, okay? 0.80 10 times, 0.80. And this is, it's repeating it 8 times. It's repeating 0.25 8 times. So 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. That's what it's doing. It returns a string, right? And we don't want that. So before we go ahead and multiply by hot dogs in a package, let's go ahead and format, or no, not format, but convert the return value of this format function, okay, to a float. Okay, so I'm going to convert that to a float. I'm going to call the float function around. And again, don't be confused, but let me just put an enter key here just so it doesn't confuse anyone. So I open the parentheses here, and I'm ending not everything. I'm ending not everything, but just the return value of this format function, just the format function. So I'm converting it to a float. I'm going to do the same thing here. Call a float, surround everything from the format function to a float. Okay, and I'm going to run it. Because so now I've converted it to a float, and I'm multiplying that float by 10. So again, 11 and then 2. See, now I'm getting the hot dogs left over, the number of hot dog buns that will be left over. but I'm getting it as a float. Okay, I'm getting it as a float. So I want it as an integer. Okay, I'm going to get exactly the exact numbers. I'm not going to get 8.2 or anything like that. I need the exact numbers. I'm going to get, when I multiply by 10 or multiply by 8, I'm going to get, when I multiply the hot dogs leftover by 10, and I multiply the hot dogs buns leftover by 8, I'm going to get the exact number. I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to get 8.5. I'm going to get the exact number leftover. Okay, so I'm getting a float here. So I'm going to, because I'm getting a float here, I don't want it as a float. I'm going to convert everything into an integer. So it looks messy, but the reason why I had to format this, if I formatted this to an integer, it wouldn't work, because sometimes I get, because the results of this, what's in the format, okay, the results of this gives me a decimal, so I can't go ahead and format it into an integer. It wouldn't give me the right value. Okay, that's why I was formatting it to a float. But remember, the format function returns a string, right? And I can't multiply a string by a number. I can't do that. It's going to give me weird results. I don't need that in this program. So I need to convert that to a float and then multiply it by this number, right? The reason why I'm converting that to a float is because I can get a float number. Let's say I can get 0.79999, okay, and that's why I need to convert it to a float. But after all is said and done, it's everything is resulting to a float, right? And I need everything else. Okay, now this time everything else converted to an integer. So I'm surrounding everything and I'm converting it to an integer. I'm doing the same thing for this, because after you're done multiplying by 10 or 8, okay, so after you're done multiplying by 10 for hot dogs leftover or 8 for hot dog buns leftover, you're going to get an integer. Okay, so this is again trying to exceed it. I'm going to try to bring it back here like this, and it's still not. I'll bring it back there like that. It's fine. Or better still, I'll bring it back there like that. It's fine. All right, so I hope I surrounded it. Yeah, I did. So let's go ahead and run this and let's see what happens. So I'm going to enter 11, 2, and see, now I'm getting good values over here. All right, so 22. So this is what's happening. If I have 11 people, 2 hot dogs each, I need 22 hot dogs, right? I also need 22 hot dog buns. To know the exact hot dog packages, or to know the minimum hot dog packages I need, I divide by 10, because there are 10 hot dog packages, 10 hot dogs in a hot dog package. Okay. And I'm going to get 2.2, but I can't buy 2.2 in a store. I need to buy 3. So this is correct. But if I buy 3 packages and only 22 people are needing it, I want it, then there's going to be 8 left over, right? So I need the same way I need 22 hot dog buns, because I needed 22 hot dogs. I need 1 hot dog and 1 bun. So I needed 22 hot dog buns. There are 8 hot dog buns in a pack. So when I divide, to know the packages I need for hot dog buns, I divide by 8, and I get 2.75. But I can't go and buy 2.75. I need to buy 3 at least. So we did that, and that's why it's saying 3 over here. But we bought 3 packs. Okay, 3 packs of 8 each, right? We bought 3 packs of 8 each. So we bought 3 packs, and we used 2.7 packs. Okay, two packs and then 0.75 buns. So I'm subtracting 2.75. So sorry, 3 minus 2.75, which gives me 0.25. When I multiply by 8, which is the amount of buns in a pack, I get 2. All right, and it makes sense because I had 22 people who needed 22 buns. I bought 3 packs of 8, so 3 times 8 gives you 24, and I used 22 of them, right? So let's see, 2.75 times 8, 22. I used 22 of them. I bought 24 of them. If you subtract 22 minus 24, 24 minus 22, you get 2. So this is also correct. All right, so let's use a case where we don't have anything remaining. So let's use, for example, there are 5 people coming, right? And then there are, let me type it here first. All right. So there are 5 people coming, and there are 2 hot dogs each, and hit enter, right? So let's do the math here, and we'll fix this in a second. So 5 people coming, there are 2 hot dogs each for hot dogs per person. I need 10 hot dogs. There are 10 hot dogs in a pack, so that means if I divide by 10, I'm getting exactly 1 pack. So I need 1 pack over here now, and we have to convert this because we are dividing 10 by 10. It's supposed to give us 1, but for some reason it's giving us 1.0 because of the values we're using. It's the same thing. 1.0 is the same thing. Just one is an integer, one is a decimal, but it's the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and convert this to an integer because this number is always going to be an integer. It's not going to be like a decimal with the remainder greater than 0. It's always the remainder is going to be 0. It's going to be an integer, okay, and not like a full decimal, like a decimal with the remainder again greater than 0. So we'll convert this to an integer. Actually, this and this both to an integer, because there's a possibility this can also be a decimal. A decimal, there's a possibility it can be a decimal without the remainder. Without the remainder, so there's a possibility it can be a decimal with the remainder being greater than. Without the remainder. I'm sorry for confusing you. There's a possibility it can be a decimal without the remainder being greater than 0. So there's a possibility it can be 2.0. All right. I think for some reason it's giving me 1.0. It's probably from the variables, but again we'll convert it to an integer because again we won't get 1.1 or 1.2. We're always going to get 1.0 or 2.0 or 3.0. Okay. So we needed 10. There are 5 people coming, 2 hot dogs each. We needed 10 hot dogs. When you divide 10 by 10 hot dogs in a pack, you're getting 1 pack, which is 1.0, which is the same thing. And because we bought 1 pack for 10 people and there are 10 hot dogs in a pack, there are 0 hot dogs left. We needed exactly 1 pack, and so this is correct. So for the hot dog buns, right, there are 8 hot dogs in a pack, and we needed 10 hot dog buns because we needed 10 hot dogs, 1 hot dog and a hot dog bun. So we can't just buy 1 pack. That's just 8 hot dog buns. So we had to buy 2 hot dog buns, right? 2 hot dog buns is 16 because 8, 16. And we used all, and there are only 10 people coming, right? And 16, if we use 10, 16 minus 10, then we have 6 left. So that works also. So over here, for number of over here for minimum hot dog packages required, that is when it's not, okay, when the hot dog, when the remainder is no greater than 0. When displaying this, go ahead and convert it to an integer like this. And do the same thing for hot dog buns. So this is hot dog buns actually, and this is hot dog packages. So this is hot dog bun packages, and this is hot dog buns converted to an integer. Okay. All right. So it's looking good. So let's try a few more values and see if it's working. So far, I think we did everything. So let's try a few more and see if it makes sense. So I'm going to say there are 6 people coming. Each of them is getting 4 hot dogs each, right? Let's do the math here, and then I close the calculator and then call this one done. So there are 6 people coming, 4 hot dogs each. We need 24 hot dogs. To know how many packages of hot dog we need, I divide by 10 because there are 10 hot dogs in a pack. I need exactly 2.4, but I can't buy 2.4 packages, so I buy 3. I need a minimum of 3. But if I'm buying 3 packs, which is 30 single hot dogs, right? And I'm using 24 out of them, then I'm getting 6 left. So 6 hot dogs left over, right? The same thing for hot dog buns. There are 24 hot dogs needed. 24 hot dogs needed. So we also need 24 hot dog buns because each hot dog goes in a bun. If there are 8 hot dog buns in a pack, to know the number of packages of hot dog buns, we have to divide the 24 by 8. So that's exactly 3. Okay, we need exactly 3, right? Because 3 times 8 gives you 24. We need exactly 3 packages of hot dog buns, and everyone will be fine. So that's why it said minimum number of packages of hot dog buns is 3. And because 3 packages, okay, gives you 24, and there are 24 people coming, 6 times 4, it was enough for everyone, and there were 0 hot dog buns left over. So this works. There are different pieces to it, and I hope that it's clear. I don't think I missed anything. It works perfectly. So we had to stick with the tools that we had in chapter 3, chapter 2, chapter 1. We couldn't go above it. So, which is good because it restricts us, to try to figure out how to solve this problem with the tools that we have. So, if you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next program. All right, bye-bye.